Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Marcus Aurelius. Imagine waking up every day with a clear understanding of who truly values you and who merely sees you as a means to an end. In a world that constantly bombards us with distractions and superficial connections, having the clarity to discern genuine relationships from exploitative ones is not just beneficial, it's revolutionary. It's about taking control, not of others, but of something far more important and absolutely within our reach, our own well-being and emotional health. Today, we're diving deep into the heart of relationships, exploring 10 key indicators that reveal whether someone is using and neglecting you. These insights are not just theoretical musings, but practical tools for navigating the complex web of human interactions. Understanding these indicators helps us transform our connections from sources of stress and uncertainty into foundations of strength and clarity. If you are ready to transform how you view and handle your relationships, stay tuned as we unpack the powerful, life-altering teachings of Marcus Aurelius and apply them to cultivating a life filled with meaningful, reciprocal connections. As we embark on this journey, remember, recognizing these signs is the first step towards building healthier, more fulfilling relationships. 1. Recognizing fake relationships. Have you ever felt uncomfortable being regarded as a stepping stone? Recognizing fake relationships can be difficult, particularly when we wish to think that others are good. But there are also unnoticed indicators and exposing remarks made by people who only regard us as a tool to further their own agendas. In this clip, we shall examine the depths of these destructive behaviors, emphasizing 10 important viewpoints that make it clear that they are only using you and don't care about you. Now is the moment to expose the phony pals in your life. Come along and learn how. 2. Utilizing selective availability. A second red flag that sticks out in the intricate details of interpersonal relationships is selective availability. This is made clear when someone is easily reachable when they need something from us, but when the roles are reversed, they seem oddly unachievable. Imagine this situation frequently. You find yourself acting as a benefactor, answering a variety of demands, such as offering a shoulder to cry on or assistance, lending a hand, or investing your time and energy. But when you discover yourself in a precarious situation, asking for help or support, and the reaction from this individual is an unbearable silence. Unanswered messages, missed calls, or at most, a minor shift in topic. These are the answers that you receive. This behavior pattern sets up a situation where there is an imbalance between giving and receiving. You discover that this is a one-way street where it seems as though your attention and efforts are going in the wrong direction. This dynamic displays a disregard for others, as well as a conscious indifference to your needs and emotions. Therefore, selective availability is a mirror reflecting an unsettling truth. The individual in question only shows up when it is convenient for them. This imbalanced relationship is a haven for bitterness and sentiments of disappointment. The partnership develops into an unbalanced scale in which one party's requirements are consistently disregarded. Acknowledging and facing this fact is an essential first step. It's crucial to inquire, are we genuinely enhancing each other's lives, or are we merely a convenient couple, a resource to meet the requirements of another person? Self-esteem and self-respect are important, encouraging us to reevaluate our limits and think about if reciprocity and respect are, in fact, common values in this partnership. 3. The absence of thorough personal curiosity. A third red flag in the fabric of interpersonal interactions is the absence of personal interest is strikingly apparent. Sincere allies and true friends are defined by a sincere curiosity about our experiences, feelings, and lives. They take pleasure in our tales, rejoice with us, and stand by us during difficult times. Still, dealing with someone whose interest seems to be only functional presents a striking contrast. Or self-serving. This individual never, if at all, inquires about your day, your emotions, or your goals. Their participation in discussions appears to be focused on just one thing, themselves. When they do talk, It's about their personal needs and experiences or are restricted to trivial subjects with no emotional or private depth. This dynamic exposes an unsettling detachment. You start to sense that your narrative and voice only have value when they help these exclusive goals in some way. What part do you play in the relationship? This non-attendance demonstrates empathy and interest is a clear indication that this person values you based on what you offer, not based on your identity. It may hurt to realize this, but self-evaluation requires it and the maintenance of one's personal honor. Asking questions becomes crucial. Do we currently live in a connection of fair and sincere trade? Or are we only considered as ancillary figures in the spectacle of someone else's life? A warning sign in a relationship is a lack of personal interest, indicating the need to reassess our relationships and look for settings where we are respected and revered as a whole unit. If you found this useful, you're among the select few who are actually looking for expansion. 4. Guilt and manipulation. In the spectrum of interpersonal relationships, a dark warning signal, the use of shame as a weapon, emerges in order to manipulate. This type of manipulation can take many different forms, but at its foundation is always the same: to influence someone to act in a way that is consistent with the desires of a manipulator. Think about this situation. You frequently come across circumstances where there is a subliminal yet powerful pressure to grant requests or comply with demands. Or possibly the other one expertly manipulates your feelings, utilizing them as puppets to further their objectives. Words like, "You would do this," or "I would do the same for you," "if you were truly my friend," are placed in the emotional combat zone as cutting tools meant to take advantage of your generosity and compassion. These deceptive methods are sneaky and frequently go against the duty or custom. Their purpose is to cause you to question your own emotions and perspectives, making you wonder if you should accept blame for giving in. You run the risk of gradually losing your emotional integrity and self-esteem in this risky terrain, however. It is crucial to understand that happy partnerships thrive on a foundation of mutual respect, trust, and the liberty to communicate and take care of personal needs without pressure or fear. If you regularly find yourself caught in the web of these cunning strategies, there is a pressing need for review. This is an opportunity to consider the viability of the partnership and the potential for setting more sensible boundaries. It takes courage to face and acknowledge manipulation in order to protect your emotional well-being and health. It's a self-aggrandizement in which you assert your entitlement to remain unmanipulated or were forced to make the best decision for you out of guilt. 5. The ongoing disregard for detail. Within the intricate web of social interactions, a persistent lack of respect becomes evident as the fifth symptom of dysfunction. Respect is a two-way street that is necessary in any meaningful connection and needs to remain steady. A faithful friend or partner upholds this idea in their deeds that demonstrate respect and regard for one another. But someone who consistently takes advantage of you tends to ignore these limitations. Consider how often you find yourself in circumstances where the other person is running late, cancels at the last minute, or worse, doesn't show up at all. There appears to be a constant assumption that you should adapt to suit their preferences and whims. This consistent disregard for your time and demands is a clear sign that the person doesn't appreciate relationships enough. When these opinions are considered as a whole, they create a habit of conduct that begs for considerationlessness and selfishness. But it's important to acknowledge that fallibility is a characteristic of humanity. Everybody may act at some point self-centeredly. The consistent behavior of the individual abusing you is what sets them apart gradually, in addition to a lack of recognition or an attempt to modify. As we continue on this adventure, it's crucial to keep in mind that self-awareness is necessary to decipher the nuances of interpersonal relations, and aggressiveness are effective strategies. They keep us safe from exploitation. Being conscious of these indicators and being aware of how to react to them is essential. Acknowledging the existence of a toxic partnership is an essential first step in reevaluating these connections and implementing measures to protect your mental and emotional health. While we investigate the intricacies of human connections, Understanding that we are able to recognize and respond to abusive circumstances is a crucial step. Understanding and being aware of these indicators allows us to preserve relationships that are healthier and more courteous. 6. The ramifications of superficial bonding. 1/6 telltale clue that can be seen in the intricate web of human interactions is superficial bonding. This signal is especially sneaky because it hides the real nature of the partnership. A person who is taking advantage of you usually doesn't want to build a strong, lasting relationship. This conduct is shown through surface-level contact that is rarely deeper than that. In a relationship like this, you may begin to see some patterns. Talks typically center around insignificant things and avoid delving into more intimate or in-depth conversations. These people firmly regulate their emotions and hide their flaws. This imperceptible barrier keeps the partnership from progressing to a more personal degree of trust, as well as friendship. The partnership appears to be locked in an endless starting phase where, despite after some time passes, you come to the conclusion that you don't really know this individual beyond a superficial exterior. This is an obvious indication that the other person does not think the relationship is neither a top priority nor a means of really exchanging feelings and experiences. Realizing this, your emotional well-being depends on the superficial dynamic. It's a call to contemplate on the depth and worth of your connections. This symbol asks us to consider, are we putting our time and effort into a productive ground that can support our mutual development, or are we clinging to a connection's shadow that never develops into anything more meaningful? Understanding a surface-level relationship acts as a roadmap for decision-making, enabling us to defend our mental health and look for connections that are genuinely deep and reciprocal. 7. The absence at critical junctures. When attempting to discern interpersonal relationships, the 7th indicator, which is absent at crucial times, sticks out with a dismal clarity. The true meaning of a good relationship is frequently discovered during life's storms rather than on its sunny days. It occurs during times of hardship, disease, bereavement, or extreme stress that relationships are tested to reveal their actual nature. Consider yourself in front of one of these difficult times, anticipating assistance and comprehension from someone you regard as a companion or friend. But what you get in place of support is a void. The individual is clearly missing, maybe providing flimsy comfort or words that sound more like formalities rather than a sincere show of sympathy. This conduct pattern, wherein both material and emotional support is noticeably rare or non-existent when needed, which is a concerning sign. It makes clear that one person may be emotionally invested in the connection, while the other is largely on the receiving end and avoids situations when there is reciprocation. Being absent at pivotal times is like a mirror reflecting the actual nature of the partnership. It goes beyond simply not being there in person. The absence of compassion, emotional detachment, and apathy are what really matter. This lack of assistance erodes the relationship's emotional foundation in addition to calling into doubt the connection's sincerity and inherent worth. Although accepting this fact can be difficult, doing so is necessary to preserve one's dignity as well as psychological health. Facing this reality forces us to reevaluate our connection and to consider how crucial it is to create more equal partnerships where assistance and presence are mutually exclusive. Recognizing warning indications in a relationship is an important first step, but what really determines the character and direction of these interactions is how we respond to these discoveries. At critical times, particularly when assistance is needed, the loss of a supportive individual might expose an unsettling reality regarding the partnership. In these trying times, the genuineness and depth of a relationship are tested in some way. The absence of sentimental dedication and support from someone who is clearly displaying these flaws by employing us. In order to foster more robust and clearly defined limits are necessary for healthy interactions. Refusing something is an essential component of any wholesome partnership. When under pressure or feeling uneasy, it's important to express your own boundaries in a straightforward and unambiguous way. Clearly defining and firmly upholding your standards of acceptability is a way to honor yourself and maintain your mental well-being. It's important to communicate honestly and openly when you feel taken advantage of by tackling the issue in a direct, concise and composed manner. Putting your emotions into words without charges has the power to clear up confusion and even provide the other party an opportunity to reconsider and alter their conduct. Getting help to manage the emotional complexity of being is another crucial step in an imbalanced connection. Speaking with dependable friends, a professional or member of the family can offer support and an outside perspective that is greatly needed, and direction. Never forget that in relationships, everyone deserves to be treated with respect and reciprocity. Recognizing and approaching circumstances in which your interests are not taken into account is crucial for bolstering your emotional health. Acquiring the ability to manage these difficulties enables us to create and preserve healthier, more fulfilling connections built on understanding, empathetic interaction, and clear communication. By seeing the warning signals of imbalanced relationships and acting before they become an issue, you make a vital move to safeguard yourself and create a happier, healthier life exchanges. It's critical to keep in mind that how other people treat you does not determine your value. Instead, it is inherent and validated by your posture in instances of deficiency of deference or thoughtfulness. As we search for genuine relationships and motives, one key concept sticks out. Relationships that are reciprocal are what you deserve and deferential. 8. Lack of emotional support. An eighth indicator that you may be in an imbalanced relationship is the lack of emotional support. True friends and partners offer a shoulder to lean on during times of need. They provide comfort, understanding, and a listening ear. However, if you notice that your emotions are often dismissed, belittled, or ignored, it's a clear sign that the other person does not value your emotional well-being. This lack of support can leave you feeling isolated and unimportant. It is essential to recognize this behavior and to understand that you deserve to be emotionally supported and valued. This realization can prompt you to seek more nurturing and supportive relationships that contribute positively to your emotional health. 9. Inconsistent effort. A ninth red flag is an inconsistent effort. In a healthy relationship, both parties put in consistent effort to maintain and nurture the connection. If you find that you are always the one initiating contact, making plans, or putting in the effort to keep the relationship alive, while the other person only reciprocates sporadically, it is a sign of imbalance. This inconsistency can be draining and frustrating. A relationship should be a partnership where both individuals are equally invested. Recognizing this imbalance can help you reassess the relationship and consider whether it is worth the continued investment of your time and energy. 10. Disregard for boundaries. The 10th indicator is a disregard for boundaries. Boundaries are essential for maintaining respect and mutual understanding in any relationship. If someone consistently oversteps your boundaries, whether they are physical, emotional, or personal, it is a sign that they do not respect you or your limits. This can manifest in various ways, such as invading your privacy, making unreasonable demands, or not respecting your time and space. It is crucial to assert your boundaries firmly and to recognize when they are being ignored. Maintaining clear and respectful boundaries is vital for your well-being and the health of your relationships. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the depths of history and wisdom. If you found this content engaging and enriching, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more fascinating explorations. Your support fuels my passion for sharing knowledge. Feel free to leave a comment with any suggestions, questions, or just to say hello. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.